Yeah, I don't know what happened. It kicked me off, and I could not rejoin the stream. Had to start a new one. All right, so we were getting ready to pop the new O-rings to this little stem handle. Yeah, I'll give him some time. I gotta go get some nylog anyway. I'm back. Jeff, Dallas. Glad y'all could come back. I was just getting ready. To pop these new. Actually, those might be older ones. I had 2 packs of these all. Yeah, I think these were new. That's an old one, that's an old one. I come to think about it, I think this is my newest one. Oh. Cheating on me. We have an open relationship, me and Jeff. We're slingers. Alright. I know my fingers are like blocking the view, but alright, so we got it on that one. We gotta go down one more. Alright. So once I get in the groove, I usually just take it and kind of spin it around like this. Just to make sure that it's not all twisted up. I wasn't. I could go get that box of green O-rings. I'm not sure if these are really going to work great long term. Because you can see that they are definitely different from, say, this one. This is the Appion one. And as you can see, they're pretty close. But my tool did start leaking from right in here. So I might have to keep searching for these O-rings. Yeah, I need this one and this one. This is not from Harbor Freight. This is a real Appion kit. So we got the tool fully disassembled. We got the one new O-ring on. And let's just pop this other new O-ring on to our little okay. So once I get in the groove, I usually take my pick and just kind of spin it around a couple times. And then if you're using a sharp pick, that's sharp, stick the needle in the sharp pick, get behind the O-ring. So if you can kind of feel when you're in the brass, and then you can stick it through without poking the O-ring. Alright, so a tiny bit of Nylog red. And we spoke about Nylog a little bit last night. And I just prefer the red stuff. I've had the blue. And I don't know why. I just prefer the red. So now this is going to have to let me see if I can back this camera up a little bit. All right. Oh, crap. Technical difficulty. Yeah. Just kind of looking at the stream quality for a second. It's not that great, is it? Yeah. I wonder if I could switch to it's okay. Yeah. I'll just yeah, it's my phone, Jeff. I was almost going to try to switch to data. Let me see if I can. Give it a second. I wonder if that's any better. I did it. All right. So we're going to drop this in with the hex shank pointing out right into the top here. Easier said than done, right? Maybe it'd be good if I stick that in there like that. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Dang it. Oh. All right. Got it. So it's not quite. There we go. Firmly seated in there. Go ahead and turn your handle so this is basically in the off position. And now we're going to take one of our new Teflon rings and we're going to pop this sucker. We're going to pop this seal in just like this, and we're going to get it behind that brass handle piece. So I'm shoving it in still. I'm kind of laying it flat like that. And now that it's in there far enough, I'm going to start to push the bottom side down like this. And it's flexible enough to pop it in there. I'm going to use the blunt end of this pick. Right like this. Boom. It's easy. It's in there. So that one's in there. So now we're going to make our handle be open. And get the ball bearing. What's up, Isaiah? And the groove lines up with your notch. Drop that in there. Alright. Ball bearings in there. Now our outer new Teflon piece. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, still in the bag. And now for our outer piece. Now, important step. You want to close your ball bearing. Well, I got the handle on there backwards. Alright. And with the new Teflon pieces, it's yeah, okay. Handle's crooked. Alright. Just gently close the ball bearing before you screw this back down tight. And we got one more last seal here. Oh, my brother did come. Welcome, Bradley. Welcome to my stream. One last O-ring in our packet here. Oh, thank you for the compliment, brother. You make awesome streams too. Videos as well. Brother Brad was the tough brother. And I was the slow, meticulous OCD brother. Alright. New O-ring, bam. Spin it around a little bit, make sure it's not twisted. Maybe do a little lube. And you know, I wonder if it wouldn't hurt to put a tiny bit on your, because what that does is it's going to take a little bit for those new Teflon seals to get that little indentation where the ball rides. In fact, I wonder if I can make this go all the way around a few times. Yeah. All right. All right, so we're closed and we're ready to go ahead and put this cap back on, and you can tell it's tight. I mean, when you're putting this down, it's definitely tight, and we've got a large gap here. So what I recommend doing is just kind of keep moving your tool, make sure to close it, and then tighten a little more. That way, I kind of figure that it shouldn't get in a bind that way. And we could probably put our screw back in the handle. Well, Bradley, this is why I'm making this video. So if you have trouble getting let's see here. If you have trouble getting this stem out and this inner valve seat, watch the replay. Watch a couple minutes earlier of my video, because it can be a real pain. I'm adding it to my favorites now. Bradley, don't lie on me now. Don't lie on me. So you can definitely feel a more pronounced click. So just I kind of keep doing that and then tighten a little more. Do this a few times. And it seems like they don't. It seems like with the new valve seats, they don't want to quite turn completely open. Like it kind of wants to stop right there. I think that's just going to kind of improve with time as the seats get worn in a little more. So we'll just use 2 wrenches here and tighten it up a little bit more. So is that a good thing or a bad thing, Geoff? You know, I was thinking the other day, when you were on your drunken live stream, you remember that, your drunken live stream? What was it, New Year's Eve? 7 hours? And you were talking about how they gave you your phone with some kind of program They gave you your phone with some kind of program, but you deleted it. I was thinking, like, what if they watch that stream? And you're bragging about, oops, I don't know how that happened. Well, there's proof that you do. Jeff, loose lips sink ships. And you had some loose lips, son. You might want to go back and delete that now. Well, let's see what kind of gunk we get out of this front piece. We're pretty much done. I mean, you may want to stick some wrenches on this piece again after you get a few hours on the new rebuilt tool. All right, well, if you're not worried about it, then I'm not worried about it. Got a few little pieces of something in there I want to get out. All right, she's nice and clean. So, final 2 steps is our new inner O-ring, which my hack was going to be this Harbor Freight O-ring, although you can see, I mean, it's a little bit thicker, but anyway, stick a little bit of, yeah, it really doesn't take that long. So we're just going to pop this sucker in now. This can be a bit of a pain because this O-ring likes to get in the, obviously these are for the mini split 5/16 tool that I don't own. So if it's a full rebuild kit, Brad. Now, Dizzy says that you can get just these. Although these would be the, let me see, these would be the 2 O-rings for, yeah. Those would be the 2 O-rings. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I got this one. Oh yeah, I think I got that one out of there. This packet should have these are for the old ones. So if anyone has some 5/16 tools, I don't own any. I'd be happy to send you some of those. If anyone has the old Appion core tools with the single O-ring in the face, I'd be happy to send you those. I have no use for them. So you got the O-rings individually? I need to look into how to get just those. I was trying for a while to find a Harbor Freight O-ring kit, but it's kind of hit or miss. All right, so let's see if we can get this. I'm gonna have to kind of look at it for a second. Because this one, when you stick this one in there, it kind of wants to put that inner O-ring in a little bit of a bind. Is this the old one? I hope so. Did I stick an old one back in there? Oh, it's brand new. Well, thank you, bro. Yeah, see if you can get me a link. I'll use your TrueTech code. I don't think you have one actually. Don't tell anyone though, but I didn't get this from TrueTech. I got this from some other website that had it for like $25. I just Google searched it. So yeah, because I'm watching me shekels. You'll see what happens here is it wants to kick that other O-ring up just like that. That can be a real son of a gun. Yeah, see, if you look inside, when you pop that inner one out, you can see how that second one is not in that track correctly. So you just got to keep fiddling with it. Pop that one back out. See if I can push that down. See if I can kind of hold it down. Really don't want to use that. Really don't want to use anything sharp. No. You have to be very quiet. Dang it. All right, Dallas, I'm going to write that down right now. You said MG AVCT is just these two O-rings that I'm struggling with at this point. Son of a gun. I'm telling you, this can get a little... Dang it. How did that happen? Yeah. Those green ones are a lot easier to get in there. Maybe that's why mine didn't hold up very long. Pain in the butt. I don't blame anyone if you just buy new ones of these. Alright. What the heck? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I'm holding the flashlight in my mouth so I can see what I'm doing, so. Mm. Yeah, you know what I'm almost thinking is I wonder if this nylog made this O-ring swell a little bit. So, bonus tip. Let's try something. Let's take this sucker back out of here. If we can get it back out of here. Without poking a hole in it. Alright. Looks undamaged. So, let's put this guy in the freezer for a second. Alright, so we put that guy in the freezer for a second so I can hang out with y'all for a minute. Yeah, I don't need super chat. I wouldn't even know how to turn it on. The regular silicone lube may be better than Nog, you know? But here's the thing is I had the same problem on another one I did just right before I did this one because I wanted to do one before I did this stream so I could kind of not look like a total idiot. I had the exact same problem with that O-ring that goes basically, they both need to sit in there like that. And it's just a little bit too big every time you stick this one in there. This one gets folded up underneath it. So, we've got it in the freezer. Let's see if it'll shrink down just enough. I could probably go spray some liquid Freon on it. But Jeff, that might be a good point. It might be better to just use some silicone, which I have. I should have used that. Spray it with Freezone. I should. Or you know what? It would probably be better to use like CO2. They make the cord nozzle so sharp. What do you mean, Jeff? So yeah, I probably got about an hour in this one since my other stream and now this stream. All right, let's see. All right, it is cold. So let's see if we can pop it in here real quick. Oh. Jeez. Man. Mm. This is unbelievable. Mm. This is turning into a real nightmare. I almost had it. Mm. Son of a diddly. How's that, Jeff? Son of a diddly dude all day. I'm just trying to get back out of there and now it won't even come out. Come on. Jeez. Oh my gosh. It's because I was picking on it so much now I got all these little tiny brass shavings in there. Yeah. Isn't that what Ned Flanders used to say on The Simpsons? Diddly, son of a diddly. Alright, plan B. Put this back in the freezer for a second. Now I've got this little thing. So if I get it to line up, I can tighten it down on that. And maybe kind of make it stay stuck in there and not pop back out. That's a great idea, Bradley. Thank you, bro. It actually got in there. So there's a trick for the live stream: is get you a Schrader piece of a Schrader piece, and even if those rings aren't perfect, stick that, get them popped in there, and then tighten it down on this thing. Tighten it down, and then it'll kind of pop it out. So what I'll do, I'll put a little bit of booger snot on this thing and get some nylog on those O-rings for me. What you want to do too is with the new O-rings, this is a little stiff to turn, and you can kind of tell when the O-rings are seated by when this, like if I back this off a little bit, this totally turns, and you can feel it's getting pretty tight to turn here, but yeah, so you get my drift. You have to tighten it down a little bit more than usual. So after an hour in, the rebuild is complete, and the O-rings are in there nicely. Now I don't run Schraders in my core tools where the micron gauges go, because I've had issues with the vacuum gauge doesn't depress the Schrader, so I just prefer to leave those out. Just have to be careful. You do not take your micron gauge off until you have put the valve stem core back in, and then you can take it all off at once. So, success. Finally. Jeez. You know, I mean, it's going to happen on camera. I had the same trouble with the other one. I knew that was going to happen, but I wanted to show the live stream because, you know, there's a few hard spots in there. few hard spots is figuring out how to get this guy out and how to get this valve seal out and in. So, since you guys have stuck with me this long, I wonder if I could take you into the mad scientist lair. Let's see how much battery we have left. Come on. Alright, it's gonna get shaky for a minute. Ooh, I'm gonna have to leave you all plugged in. Going to have to leave you all plugged in. To the garage we go. Sorry, I'll just sit right here for a second while I get some power. Into the laboratory. I don't have any shoes on here, but dang, it's so dark in here. Crap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test it. So this is the one I did earlier, and this is my vacuum test rig. It's just a piece of engine and eighth copper soldered at both ends with a T on it. So, oh, I gotta go get the clamp. I gotta go get a tripod thing, guys. Be right back. I know the lighting sucks. I wonder if I could turn the flashlight on. No, I cannot turn the flashlight on with the live stream going. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. A little better. A little better, a little better, a little better. So this is the one I did earlier. I'll take this one off. You want to see my water heater? It's a little messy. I'm a little embarrassed of it. the one we just rebuilt on. And let me put this one here. A little heavy. Get my Appion 1/2 inch. Don't have the Smurf boner hose yet. Go ahead and hook this up to the vacuum pump. And let's throw a cap on here. I'll go ahead and plug the pump in. Brad, I don't actually own a Bluetooth blue vac. I have this one and I have the regular micro. And I do like to run 2 vacuum gauges on each core tool on both sides of the system. Because usually one is a lot different from the other, so you can kind of see, you can see a little bit better from that. And the light doesn't stay on, huh? Okay. Well, all right, let's hit the vacuum pump. Y'all ready? $200. Did I say Wi-Fi? Sorry, Brad. Bluetooth. 170. All right, let's just close it off. You know, the microns always tend to go up a little bit as it pulls the moisture out of this copper. Oh, you did. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, really? So I guess It has no internal memory. Yeah. So you gotta leave your phone sitting right by the unit. Yeah, it's cool, but I've had so many problems with manufacturers using crappy service valves and stuff that lately they seem to be better. Here's the O-ring kit. It's actually out here. So where we at? 118. Close it off. Pull on it a little bit more. Yeah, that's tight with wrenches, Dizzy. I pretty much leave this T on here all the time. This is tight. And I've got Schrader's. Well, I pull the Schrader out. But I usually keep Schrader's in here just to try to keep it somewhat dry. But so yeah, as y'all can see, my ultimate pull down with the Appion hose is not what it would be with Jim's hoses, that's for sure. And my other hose I use is a 3/8, 6 foot. Yeah, so she's coming down. Let's valve it off again. I'm valving it off. Yeah, it's starting to rise a lot slower because we're just drying out this piece of copper right now. Yeah, for sure, Brad. This is on a about a 2 foot long piece of 1 1/8 copper as a tank, though. So once I pull it down a few times, it will stay relatively low. Let's pull down on it again. Should be every time we valve it off, it'll start rising slower and slower. So I just shut it off again. Yeah, I was the smart brother, and and I was getting beat up in high school, or even elementary school, and Brad had to come beat up all the people who made fun of me. Because I took after Dad, and Brad took after Mom. Alright, let's try to pull down on it again. Yeah, getting better. Yeah, you were always Mom's favorite. Kind of hurt my feelings, but I've learned to deal with it now. 73. I shut it off. Now my connection must be bad because it looks not the greatest. Alright, so that's pretty good. So I'm going to shut the pump off, and I'm going to... I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm going to take the... let me back y'all up a little bit here. I'm going to take this hose. I'm going to take this hose completely off. Oh, and then it's going to swing down. Actually, I'm going to leave the hose just holding this thing steady, but it's not tight. I mean, I'd say that's good. I'm calling it good. Because like Brad said, this isn't much volume. And I could keep doing it and it would. Go up less. But what do y'all think? Is this good? I mean, I'm happy with it. So y'all can see now the piece of copper that it's attached to. Yeah, me too, Brad. I'd say the core tool is a success. I mean, with this small amount of volume, if it was leaking, it'd be shooting up like crazy. So I'll go ahead and tighten the hose down again and do one more quick pull down. $60. I don't know, Dizzy, because I don't have the blue Smurf hose. You'd see 60 with that one. Brad, that's a good question. At this point, I'd say I'm like 75%. I really don't need it, and 25% maybe would like to have it. I don't like the clamp fittings, to be honest with you. And I feel like my vacuum rigs, I mean, I'm pulling my systems down and down to like 100 and something, 150, 160, and holding less, than 300. I don't, and I am usually working by myself, so I usually fire up the pump when I have other stuff to do anyway. Generally, I'm not sitting around waiting, except for a system that's been open to service. And I don't know that the blue hoses are going to change a lot when the systems, when you're pulling on oil and when you're pulling on oil with refrigerant in it. Yeah, Brad, I'm 100% with you. I mean, I just don't think it's, when it really counts is when we're working on a unit that's been already in service and you're pulling on the compressor too. Because with just line sets and coils, my rig is fast. And I only use 1/2 inch Appion hose. This is my other hose that I generally use on, and it's an NRP hose. Its ultimate pull down its ultimate pull down on that hose is only like 120. And with this one, as you can see, it's a lot lower. So we're at 70. And I use that 3/8 hose. I usually hook the big hose up to the suction valve and the 3/8 hose to the liquid line. And I have a micron gauge on both. All right, so we're at 60s. We're in 67s. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and valve it off again. All right, I valved it off. I opened the hose. See, like I said, I mean, the more I pull on this, the slower and slower it gets. And the hose is loose, so with this valve tool, I'm definitely happy with the rebuild. Yep, I'm good. And what I like about this too is here's my other one, and every now and then I'll check them, and I can check them both at once. All right, well, I think we're pretty much done, y'all. I think it's worth it. I mean, I was about to buy new ones just because I've had these for probably 4 or 5 years. They've been rebuilt. This will be the second time I did a full rebuild to them. So, what are they, like 60 bucks? And 25 bucks is what I paid for that rebuild kit. And if I can get the O-rings even cheaper than that, because you go through probably 2 sets of those O-rings. Yeah, it's just time and frustration, like if you're good working with small little O-rings or not. Alright, so is there anything else y'all want to see? before I end it, because it's 9:30 here. Yeah. See, I've known my rig long enough to know that the more I pull on it, the better it gets, and that it's just drying out this length of copper I've got. My heat pump. Well, you mean for my house or my water heater, Dallas? Both. Well, I can show you the air handler because it's right next to me, but it's dark here. All right, I gotta move this table. All right, real fast. Unplug you. Let's see, what's my battery like? 48%. All right. So here's my messy garage. Here's my heat pump water heater, and I've got it turned funny so the fan's blowing out back there. It's actually running. And you can see the control panel's like tucked away over here. Trying to see what. No, I'm not putting spotlights. So this is my heat pump water heater. Now look at this. And that's my metal brake, and this is a table I use for my brake that someone was throwing away, and I cut the legs off of it. So what do y'all think? I think I should call a plumber and let him come look at that. So this tank is just a tank. This was the water heater that was in this house before. Here's my air handler, Dallas. Now, just my buddy pulled out the exact same air handler except it had an ECM motor, so I put the guts inside. So it's got an ECM motor now in it, and got a liquid line solenoid valve on it, sight glass, because this is a piston, and I didn't like the charge equalizing every off cycle, so this is basically like making it a hard shut off TXV. That's a Sporlan dryer back there, but I did that when I first moved in like 2011, so Mike didn't do the best job back there. But anyway, I can explain. So this water heater and this water heater is a storage tank. Now this is the waste heat recovery off the air conditioner and heat, because in heat my air conditioner is, and so this is the hot water in, and this is cold water out. So heating up this preheat tank for the heat pump water heater. Now I added this circulation pump, I added this ball valve, this is a check valve, and this is the hot water into my house. But what this does is my family would deplete this tank, because my daughter and wife like to take long showers. They would totally deplete this, and as we know, this takes like 4 or 5 hours to replenish. But what I do here is a couple times throughout the day, I pump the water from this preheat tank into this tank and pump its hot water. So it basically just kind of pumps it between the tanks. So at the end of the day, this is 40 gallons, this is 50. I should have about 90 gallons of hot water sitting here. And I only have to do this in the off seasons or if the temperature's mild, because if the air conditioner is running enough, this tank is super hot. If the heat's running enough, this tank is super hot. So yeah, I just kept adding on, and this started to look super crazy. This is an old disconnect I pulled off a roof. I just thought the patina was cool. So this is my water heater. Yeah, I like it too. So I can throw it on or off. And so the cool thing is like when we have a hurricane, like, so I've got that generator and I've got another generator under there, and I kind of use these window units. But I can have hot water because this thing only pulls like 3.6 amps. And so during the day when the generator's running, I can run this all day, pump the water between the tanks, and have 90 gallons at night of hot water every day without any main power to the house. So yeah, another benefit of a heat pump water heater. Well, alright guys, let me put this I usually put this table right here. Just kind of whenever I use my break, I'll grab this table thing that someone was throwing out, and I just grabbed it and chopped off the legs. I can put my brake on it. So, alright y'all, well thanks for stopping by. Bradley, Dallas, Duck Dynasty floor mat. Let's see. Appreciate y'all watching. You're welcome, Dallas. And that was, I should include this though as my parting shot to you. This was my static regain duct, because when I moved in, this was just straight down. See you, Brad. That's my wife checking on me. I gotta go. All right, guys.